mynews.studio.
Imagine a virus that's managed to hide in the body for decades. Now, there's a new technology that might finally bring it out into the open.
Today is October 17th, 2025. Let's dig into the details of this development. Researchers at the University of Melbourne, led by Professor Sharon Lewin, have found a way to expose dormant HIV inside immune cells. Why is that such a significant breakthrough?
It's important because current HIV treatments only keep the virus in check. They don't remove what's called the reservoir of latent HIV. These reservoirs are hidden in resting CD4 plus T cells, which is why people living with HIV need to stay on medication for life. The main challenge has always been reaching those hidden virus particles.
Earlier strategies, like the shock and kill method, tried to activate these hidden cells across the board, right? But that led to side effects and didn't work very well.
Exactly. The new approach is different because it uses something called LNPX, a delivery system that packages mRNA in lipid nanoparticles. Think of them as tiny fat bubbles that carry instructions straight into those resting T cells.
So these instructions, the mRNA, they prompt the cell to make HIV proteins, making the virus visible.
Yes, that's the idea. The mRNA encodes what's known as latency-reversing agents. When these get inside the cell, they trigger production of HIV proteins, so the virus can't stay hidden. The key here is that LNPX does this without activating the entire immune system, which keeps toxicity low.
So it's both more precise and less risky than before. But how do we know it's effective? Has this been tested in people yet? Or are we still at the early stages, like petri dishes and lab tests?
So far, they've shown results in ex vivo studies. That means in cells taken out of the body. The next steps will be testing in animal models, then eventually moving to human trials. That process takes time, years, really, to confirm both safety and how well it works.
And there are practical hurdles, too. Scaling up production of these lipid nanoparticles, ensuring the mRNA stays stable, and delivering it safely to patients, none of that's straightforward.
Not to mention the ethical side. People living with HIV are a vulnerable group, so human trials need careful oversight, clear consent, fair access, and tracking any side effects. Plus, there's the issue of making sure this isn't limited to just wealthier countries.
Trust is another factor. In some regions, there's a history of skepticism towards medical research. Trials will need to be inclusive and respectful of local cultures.
Absolutely. And the technology itself, using mRNA and lipid nanoparticles, could go beyond HIV. Depending on the instructions you deliver, it might be used for other latent viruses, certain cancers, or even autoimmune conditions.
We've seen how quickly mRNA and lipid nanoparticle technology was adopted for COVID-19 vaccines. Could we see a similar pace here, or are there unique obstacles?
The foundation is there, but each disease brings its own challenges. Safety and effectiveness still need to be shown for every new use, and the regulatory process is rigorous for good reason. But the flexibility of the platform is a real advantage.
So if this approach works, it could mean people with HIV won't have to take daily medication anymore. That would make a big difference in quality of life, cost, and public health systems.
It could also help reduce stigma and reshape healthcare, especially in the regions most affected by HIV. The research is in early days, but it's a step toward what's called a functional cure, something scientists have been working toward for decades.
We've talked through the science, the challenges, and what's at stake. Where does this story go from here?
The next phase is animal studies, followed by carefully designed human trials. If all goes well, the platform might transform not just HIV care, but how we tackle other tough-to-treat diseases.
It's a story of progress and potential, but also a reminder of the ongoing work needed. Thanks for joining us as we explored this development.
Thank you for listening. This episode was brought to you by mynews.studio. Give it a try for free.